Okay, hey guys. In this video, I wanted to talk about the best budget microphone for ASMR and gaming. Why not gaming as well? And that is the Blue Yeti. So, even though I have $1,000 microphones, I still have the Blue Yeti. And the reason why I still have the Blue Yeti, even though I have $1,000 microphones, is because the Blue Yeti is really good. And it's not perfect. It's got a lot of problems, so I personally don't like using it. Mainly it has self noise, which means there is a low-lying audible hiss static sound in your recordings. What you can do is you can lower the gain knob as much as possible and get as close as possible to the microphone to reduce the signal to noise ratio. Basically, if you're really loud into this microphone, really close to this microphone, you can turn the volume down, and that the self noise, the audible hiss, will also go down a bit. So, if you close talk the Blue Yeti and you're pretty loud, it has a reasonable self noise, signal to noise ratio. Because again, USB microphones don't have the best components. You're buying a cheap $100 microphone. I know a lot of you guys think $100 is a lot of money. And honestly, there are a lot more microphones out there now. There's a wide selection of microphones, to be honest with you. So the Blue Yeti may actually not be the best for you when it comes to USB microphones, but I'm just saying that for a good decade, the Blue Yeti has been the best USB condenser microphone out there. It has a smooth top end. The treble is smooth. It's not harsh. There's no peaks or cuts, in the frequency response. It's a very smooth sounding microphone. So you can put different tops on it. This one is a fluffy, windscreen, and you can rub on it for ASMR, and it'll give a very soft, almost like you're playing with the person's hair kind of sound. So it's really nice. You can also get a foam, which is much more rough when you rub on it. A lot of people like the rough sound, which is the reason why they actually have foam on them. So these are $1,000 microphones. Each one of these are Neumann TLM103 microphones. These microphones are really expensive. They have really low self noise, ultra low self noise. You can't even hear the noise floor of these expensive microphones. So again, even though I have very expensive microphones, when it comes to ASMR and just a USB microphone in general, the Blue Yeti has a decent tonality to it. Okay self noise. Again, I'm sure you don't know about a lot of microphones, so if I start spouting out a bunch of different microphones, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. But a lot of people use the Shure SM7B broadcasting dynamic microphone, and that has a lot of self noise from the preamp because it's not a sensitive microphone, and it stresses every single preamp on the market so that there's an audible hiss in the recordings. So you may have the Blue Yeti or the Shure SM7B for broadcasting, for gaming, for voiceover, for talking on YouTube, and you'll have about the same amount of self noise, the same amount of hiss from that microphone and the Blue Yeti. So there's this strange lowering your standards to the Blue Yeti or to the Shure SM7B where it's good enough for most people. The Blue Yeti is good enough for the general population of people. It's good enough. If you buy a Blue Yeti, you can use it for gaming, for YouTube, for ASMR. You can use it for everything. It's got all these different pickup patterns. Stereo for ASMR, cardioid for spoken word, which is the little heart shape or the infinity sign. Figure eight, omnidirectional. It's got a lot of pickup patterns for different situations. So the Blue Yeti, if you have, a certain standard of a general consumer, this will get you through YouTube. You could get hundreds of thousands of views with this, millions of views with the Blue Yeti. If you can't do it with the Blue Yeti, you're not going to be able to do it with any other microphone on the market. So although I have $1,000 microphones, it's probably not going to really help me get more views. It comes down more to talent and the titles of your videos and the thumbnails and, knowing what your audience wants and the YouTube algorithm. So the Blue Yeti is a microphone that you can use for anything. It's $100. I know that's kind of expensive, but you get a lot. You get a lot for that money. So there are a lot of new microphones out there. They're coming out with new ones every single day. There's no telling which ones could possibly be better than the Blue Yeti. But the Blue Yeti has been the microphone to get for a good decade with little to no competition in this price range. There are so many knockoffs that sound worse, that are maybe, a couple $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 cheaper that look just like this. But, they tend to sound quite a bit worse. So the Blue Yeti by Bloom Microphones. And again, it has a headphone jack at the bottom. I wouldn't recommend using that, to be honest with you. It has audible hiss as well. So I've moved on from the Blue Yeti. My standards have gotten higher. But, when you look around at so many people using the Shure SM7B broadcasting dynamic microphone, tonality-wise, it may be pretty good. It is, versus what's out there, in the microphone world. But the Blue Yeti, in my opinion, is right up there with the Shure SM7B. So if you have a Blue Yeti and a Shure SM7B, you'll have the two most popular mainstream microphones to get on YouTube. And again, the Blue Yeti, it has cardioid. You can use that for spoken word. You can use that for broadcasting, podcasting, gaming, and all that stuff. Or you can use it for ASMR.